morning. This morning I want to talk about the Lindsay Clancy case, the young mother in Massachusetts who suffered severe postpartum depression and was so worried about the safety of her children because of this depression that she ended their lives, and she attempted to end her own life as well. She threw herself out a second-story window, but she only ended up paralyzed. She apparently had done everything in the healthcare system she could to get help. She went to doctors, nurse practitioners, whoever it was, and she was prescribed many medications that made things so much worse. She told her husband as well. She tried to become an inpatient, but in order to become an inpatient, you had to have a diagnosis that was so extreme. Practically no one could actually fill that diagnosis because, of course, the insurer doesn't want to pay. So they did not admit her into the hospital. She said she heard a man's voice telling her to end the lives of her children, commanding her to do this. Now, what I believe happened is when you make your body a place that is so toxic, your soul leaves. And that's why I believe that they used to call alcohol spirits in the 1800s, because they believed that when you drank alcohol, you made your body a toxic place and your spirit would leave. And I believe this is what happens to people when they have that dissociated feeling that your soul leaving because your body has become toxic. And I think that when your soul leaves, you create a space is created for other entities, energies to take up a spot in your mind. And I believe this is what happened. Anyway, I think that this woman, and it warrants a discussion of postpartum in our culture, because what do we do for women who are postpartum? Mainly it's the healthcare system, and hopefully it helps people, but it doesn't help everyone, as it did not help this woman. It really failed this woman who did everything to get help and did not get the proper help. In other cultures, like certain Asian cultures, they understand that postpartum is it's a huge shift for a woman to go through, physically and spiritually. We always say mental health, but we never say spiritual health. Really, it's a spiritual issue tied to a mental issue. Of course, there are so many hormones involved. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments so we can have a conversation about postpartum. I know when I had my son, I had postpartum anxiety. I felt like everything was a threat. Like, how am I going to keep my son safe? You can't sleep, and that contributes to the psychosis as well. But thankfully that period eventually ends. But we do need to, I think, have a conversation in our culture about how to manage the postpartum period for women. Leave a comment, let me know.